Good morning. Welcome to Sunday morning. From my new situation. Um, Today, talk about the art of being well when it's difficult. I'm involved, I participate in a number of Buddhist and meditation oriented discussion groups online. And the most frequently asked question that I see is, I'm having a difficult situation and it feels hard and I don't know how to do. I don't know what to do in the context of meditation or the Dharma. And the undercurrent to that is usually some version of, how do I make this difficult feeling go away? So I'm going to address that today. And we'll go from there. So, greetings to anybody who joins on Zoom, who I can see. Greetings to anybody who I can't see on Facebook, and to the people who may be viewing this on YouTube later. But first, let's meditate. I invite you to find a comfortable meditation posture. Where you can be alert but relaxed at the same time. If you're sitting, you'd like to have your spine straight, not like rigid straight, but just sort of in its natural straight curve. Chin tucked in just a little bit. If you imagine like a string, like right at the crown of your head, pulling up, it straightens the top of your neck without stretching or straining the muscles around your neck and shoulders. And tuck your chin in, and that straightens the top of your spine. Let's start by becoming aware of the touch points. Aware of the feeling of your feet or legs resting on the floor. What it feels like to be in contact with whatever you're sitting on. The sensations of your hands resting in your lap. The ambient sensations of the room you're in. Is it warm? Is it cool? Is it neutral? Just noticing. Let's start with a few slow, deep breaths, just to get connected to the body breathing. About 3/4 full. And as you exhale, just begin the process of relaxing and softening. And letting the breathing return to normal. As you breathe out, just relax the muscles in your face and the muscles around your eyes. They do a lot of work. To whatever degree you can. There's no way to do this wrong. There's no right and wrong. Just do what we can. And letting your eyes just rest in their sockets. And as you breathe out, continuing to relax the muscles around your neck and shoulders. Relaxing your chest. Just letting your stomach hang. We hold in our bellies, firm belly much of the time. Just let's have a soft belly. Just let it be. And just relaxing and quieting the thinking muscle to whatever degree you can. We're not trying to make the mind go completely quiet. I'm not sure that can be done anyway. Just letting our thoughts settle a little more quietly into the background if we can. Now that your focus and your attention, your awareness come to the sensations of the body breathing. Noticing the sensations of the in-breath, the air moving through your nose, your chest and belly expanding. Staying with the sensations of the breathing all the way to the top of the in-breath. I'm not trying to do anything with the breath, we're just observing it and being with it. It's like we're accompanying it. Noticing when the body transitions from an in-breath to an out-breath. And just riding the sensations of the out-breath. The shoulders may come down a little, chest comes in a little. All the way to the end. noticing your body transitioning at the end of the out breath to another in breath. All by itself, there's nothing you have to do. And just focusing your awareness and letting your awareness rest on the sensations of the body breathing. No tension, just easing, focusing, observing, accompanying the body breathing. Mind wanders off. That's okay. It's supposed to do that. There's nothing we can really do about that. It's all good. When you notice that you're off thinking, just acknowledge thinking without getting involved in the content or the story. You might want to say, all good. And just bring your attention and your focus back to the breathing. You may have to do this over and over again, that's okay. The mind doesn't naturally go quiet. We're just relating to it differently. It's not a problem. thoughts arise. They come, they go. It's all good. Just when you notice, all good. Just come back to your breathing. And as we come towards the end of this sitting, I invite you to notice anything that has changed or settled or gotten more peaceful about your presence, or maybe nothing. I invite you to take this practice with you into the day. May the benefits of this practice enable you to see the world through kind eyes, to move through the world around you with compassion, kindness, presence. And may it be that the benefits of this meditation practice radiate from you into all of your interactions today. Radiate from you out into your households and neighborhoods, to the towns, to the world around you. Thank you for your practice. Good morning, Stanley. Greetings to the various people who reached out to me on Facebook from various places in the world, who said they would come to this practice today. I can't see you, but I appreciate you. I'm going to talk about being well when it's difficult. As I said at the beginning, I participate in a number of discussion groups online regarding Buddhism, regarding the Dharma, especially the meditation for beginners groups. And the most frequent question I hear is, I'm having a difficult time and it feels hard. How do I deal with this sadness? How do I deal with this anger? How do I deal with this grief? Some people say, I can't find my Zen. I'm not sure what that means. Different things to different people. And it seems to me, I could be wrong, and I'm not attached to being right. It seems to me that the current beneath that is, I'm feeling uncomfortable. How do I make it stop? Which is a natural response. Most of us grew up where if just we don't want it. And what I'm suggesting is we don't have to make it stop. It'll come and go. All things are impermanent, especially states of mind. So what is required in those difficult moments is, it really is a call to self-compassion. To recognize, oh, this is hard. I'm doing the best I can. I can navigate this. It just feels difficult. As I've said over and over, feelings aren't good or bad. They're just pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. That's just it. But often there's a lot of rhetoric around anger bad, right? That whole thing about anger is a way we punish ourselves for somebody else's misdeeds. I don't buy into any of that at all. Um, Anger is a feeling that arises. It lets us know we're being messed with. It lets us know our boundaries are being crossed. Um, and it comes and goes. Where it gets harmful is when we start telling ourselves we're not okay. I was lucky enough, 2001, I think it was, to see the Dalai Lama when he came to when he was near where I was living at the time, and he filled this amphitheater. It was really cool. And on the third night, he did a Q&A. And somebody said, "What about anger and frustration?" And he kind of shrugged and said, "Well, I experienced that. Like it's nothing." Right? All feelings come and go, and they are all appropriate. Feelings don't make karma. The literal definition of karma is action. And where I go with that is what I do now informs what comes next. So feelings are not facts, nor are they a call to action. And the art of being well, and it is an art because an art is something you have to practice, is to remember that even though this feels difficult, I'm still okay. It's just hard. There's nothing to actually do. Here's an example. Somebody in one of the groups, I guess lives in a rural area, and talked about the neighbor's dog came over and ate one of her chickens. This is not okay. Chickens are, cost money, and they're part of this person's livelihood. And it happened twice. And the essence of that was, I'm feeling angry, and I don't know what to do. And didn't want to cause trouble for this person, and so on and so forth. So where I went with that was it got me to remember one of my favorite stories about a Zen master who was renowned for his kindness and compassion, and often gave talks about kindness and compassion. And in one of the talks, one of the students said, "Well, what if somebody came up and tried to mug you and steal your money?" And the master said, "I would hit him over the head with my umbrella." And the students were shocked. And one of them said, "Well, what about kindness and compassion?" And he said, "With kindness and compassion in my heart, I would hit him over the head with my umbrella." So my suggestion to this woman was send her a bill for the chickens and call animal control about the dog. We let people have the consequences of their actions. That's one of the ways, for people who are into caretaking, it's one of the ways we take care of people is we let them have the consequences of their actions. The difficult part comes with the second arrow. The first arrow is the wound, whatever it is. Boom, I feel bad, I feel grief, I feel anger, I feel sad. That's just going to happen. Life includes that. That's the first noble truth. Life includes uncomfortableness, suffering, grief. The second arrow is when we start being hard on ourselves and saying, I shouldn't experience this, this is wrong, I shouldn't feel this, I shouldn't feel anger, I want to make it go away, go away, go away. Right? Sadness, go away. Anger, pleasure, hold it close. The problem with that is the more we resist our experience, especially our difficult experience, the longer it lasts, because we're adding layers of suffering to it with our resistance. And the more we cling to states that we like, that's a formula for suffering, because those come and go. It's all impermanent. So what I'm suggesting is a kind of an equanimity, without attachment, without aversion. That sounds simple, but it's not easy. And it's a practice. All of these things are practices. We're not going to like hear about this, say, oh, I'm going to do that, and then I've seen this, go off and beat ourselves up for not being able to just like flip a switch in the back of our hippocampus and make it happen. We're not wired like that. We will notice, mindfulness gives us the opportunity to notice that narrative as it comes up, that narrative of I'm not okay, because I'm feeling, because I have this desire to go scream at my neighbor whose dog ate my chicken. That's fine. We all experience anger, and I can feel so angry I can bop somebody upside the head. That's fine as long as I don't actually bop them upside the head. Right? How am I going to take care of myself with the difficult feelings? How am I going to take care of myself with grief and sadness and anger and frustration and all of that? And what that calls for is a large degree of self-compassion. Excuse me. Remembering that I'm okay, I'm just having a natural experience. Mindfully noticing what that's like. Where is that in my body? What does it feel like? What is the narrative I'm attaching to it? Is that reality? That's an important thing to ask about the narratives and stories we attach. Is that reality? More often than not, it's not. How am I going to offer myself the same kindness and compassion in this situation that I would offer to somebody else? How am I going to love myself the way I would love you when I'm having a difficult time? And there's a practice for this that has come up in the last few years. It was developed by another Dharma teacher whose name escapes me at the moment, but I will look it up and post it on the Facebook page. Called RAIN. And RAIN stands for Recognize, Accept, R-A-I, Recognize, Accept, Investigate, and Nurture. First, we recognize we're having this difficult experience. We just are. That's half the thing right there. Just not accepting our natural tendency towards denial. Recognize, oh, this feels hard. And accept it. Because what we hold at bay doesn't go away. It just gets more insistent. When Buddha encountered Mara, he said, let's have tea. Right? Mara is the dark side, the hard parts that we don't want to look at. He met it with gentleness and invitation. So I'm suggesting when you're experiencing difficulties, you meet that with gentleness. You meet your experience of that with gentleness and invitation. So that's to recognize and accept and investigate. Last week, my good friend Matthew, I thank my good friend Matthew for filling in for me for a couple of weeks. Matthew's an extraordinary teacher and a really great human being and a good friend. Gave a talk on the practice of what is this? I'm feeling angry, I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling anxious. What is this? What does it feel like physically? If I'm sad, right here. If I'm angry, it feels like my shoulders are getting really tense and trying to fold my body in half. Or I'm jittery. Just investigate. What is this? What am I telling myself about this? What is the narrative? Because mindfulness gives us an opportunity to sort of detach from the narrative and kind of watch it like a movie or like a train going by. It's like, there goes I'm not okay. But I'm not going to get on that train. There goes I shouldn't feel this way because I'm not being a good Buddhist. But I'm not going to participate in that. That's the investigation part. What does it feel like in my body? What is the narrative that part of my mind is attaching to it? What's it like to be in this moment with whatever this is? And then the N, R-A-I-N, stands for nurture. How am I going to take care of myself and be kind and gentle at the same time? And not what am I going to do about that person? How am I going to get that person to make me feel better? That's not the formula. How am I going to accept that this is difficult and just say, it's okay, Ken, it's okay. It's okay, Ken, it's okay. The way I would with a child who comes to me with a scraped knee. Or you're walking around the house in your bare feet and you stub your toe. Okay? I'm sure that's happened to some people. You're not going to like look at it, scream at it, hit it with a hammer, you know. No, you're going to be like gentle and nurturing. You might massage your foot a little bit or put a bandage around it. I'm suggesting we treat our hearts the same way. When we're in a difficult situation and we're dealing with difficult people, when it feels hard, just breathe into it. This does not mean we put up with unacceptable behavior and allow ourselves to be doormats or turn our back on injustice. That's a whole separate discussion. What I'm talking about is how we relate to ourselves in these situations. And it's too easy, and I see this too often, especially with anger, with people go to, I shouldn't feel this way, or I'm being bad, or I'm not practicing correctly. Just give yourself a break. As Stephen Levine, one of my teachers, used to say, have mercy. Offer yourself the same kindness and compassion that you would to anyone else. And here's a couple of things to remember about that. Jesus got angry and scared. Jesus was a fully realized human being. That's how I relate to Jesus. And there are passages, he was, take this cup from me. He saw what was happening and he was frightened. He goes into the church and he chases the money changers out, screaming and smashing things with a stick. So Jesus got angry. There was a lot of conflict in the Buddhist community in his actual Sangha at one point. And he dealt with that by just walking off into the woods for like some period of time, days. Because he was confused as to how to address that, is what I get from that. And there's a scene in Thich Nhat Hanh's biography of Buddha where they come to him and they say, we think it's time to bring women into the spiritual phenomenon that we're creating. And his first response to that was, we're never going to talk about that again. Okay. Now, this, India 2,500 years ago in the culture, blah, blah, blah. But they ended up creating the Bhikkhuni tradition. But the takeaway from that is Buddha got confused and sometimes scared and was visited by, throughout his teaching career, Mara, his demons, would appear in the crowd toward the edge of the woods, and he always looked right at it and said, I see you, Mara, let's have tea. So, if Jesus can get angry and scared, and Buddha can get confused and flunked, maybe we can all lighten up on ourselves just a little bit. Let's try not to hold ourselves to a higher standard than that. So, we don't get a new world. We get new eyes with which to view the world. And I am inviting you to view your place in the world with some gentleness and kindness and compassion. So, I thank you for your kind attention this morning. And I will see you next time.